What's up, you amazing people? I hope you're having a fantastic day. You are, of course, watching and listening to the Daily Dirty 30, also known as the DDT, here on The Kevin Lee Show. And I am your host, Kevin Lee. Now, for those of you who do not know what the DDT is all about, let me take a moment to explain. You see, it's a show that airs live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and it's where I get to spend 30 minutes telling you, the viewer, all about the things that bother me today. What do I get out of it? It's easy. It's therapeutic. Why should you tune in? That's even easier. It's entertaining. Sound like a fair trade? Good. Let's get to it. Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us today. Today is Monday. Yes, we did make it all the way to a Monday, so I hope everyone who is watching or listening to this live has a happy Monday, or had a happy Monday, or whatever it might be, and I hope you had a great weekend. And if you're listening to it on replay, either on audio podcast or on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, Twitch, whatever have you, I hope you're having a wonderful day. That being said, we're going to jump right into things here, ripping apart Chicago. We're going to get there in a second, I promise. I just wanted to remind a handful of people that there was some changes that we discussed last Friday. Basically, all it was a reminder of what the show was created to be and what the show had actually kind of organically evolved into. So we've decided that we're going to take a step back and go back to where we were, where we had designed the show to be in the first place. That being said, hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you'll like it. Again, you can always watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, float.app or dlive.tv, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. We are everywhere on podcasts, so you can listen to us at any time. This show airs Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I always screw that one up, but I think I got it right this time. So yes, you can always go check us out whenever you want on replay, or you can watch us live. If you watch us live, you can join in, comment, jump into the conversation. And like I said, today, I don't want to waste any time because we are talking about one of my favorite subjects, picking on Chicago. Now, you might think that as someone who grew up in and around the Chicagoland area my entire life, still live here, that I would like Chicago more. And don't get me wrong, there are parts of me that love Chicago. I'm not going to lie. They're there. They exist. They're kind of few and far between, though. I like the sports teams. I used to like the restaurants. I generally like many of the people who live in Chicago. So it's not the people. It's just like when you put all these people in this particular area, this geographical area, they all of a sudden become insane. And I don't know why that happens, but it does. And it's real. And I think anyone who's ever been there can say it. I mean, you have friends who live in Chicago. They come out and you hang out with them. They seem normal, but they go back to the city and something just happens in their brain. I don't know. I have no idea what it is, but something does happen. That being said, something happened in the brain of Chicago yesterday. So today is Monday, and yesterday on Sunday, there was, how can I put this politely? There was a incident where believed to be, well, first off, it was reported improperly. There was a misunderstanding. It was claimed that a 15-year-old boy was shot and killed by police. Obviously, a lot of people would be upset and angry about that. Well, the problem is it's not true. It's not even close to accurate. What had happened is that there were some concerned civilians who called the police because they saw what they described to be as a young man walking around in an alleyway in Inglewood, and who had been brandishing a weapon, a gun. Okay, so most people involved with it initially thought there was, too much noise here. Most people involved directly with the story understood the truth, but for whatever reason, it got out on social media. It got out there saying that what happened was it was a boy. It actually ended up being a 20-year-old man, and he was, well, reportedly, I'm not going to say he did because obviously there hasn't been an investigation. There hasn't been a trial. We don't know exactly what happened 100%, but what's being reported is that police did encounter a 20-year-old man. They did try to speak to him. I guess when they asked him about a weapon, he ran. They started pursuing. He turned and allegedly fired on them. I'm assuming there'll be body cam footage in the future if it's true. And I guess if they don't find the body cam footage, if it was not recording or something along those lines, we'll pretty much know that they were lying. But if it's true, this is the claim that he was running away, turned and fired on them. They fired. They hit him. He went down. He did not die. He went to the hospital. He is stable, which is excellent. That's great. That's great news. Right? He didn't die. How many times do you hear a story about cops interacting with someone in gunfire and they survive? Rarely. So it is good one way or the other that he did survive. Okay, so we got that part down. Well, again, there was a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of people going out reporting that this had been a boy and he had been shot and killed. So, immediately, I should say, a lot of activists in the Chicagoland area decided to go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go wherever, and say that they weren't going to stand for this, and they're going to go out and they're going to riot. They're going to take it to the city. They're going to go to the north side, which is quote unquote untouchable, and they are going to just pounce on the city and destroy everything that they can. So this was actually known about because it is on social media. And believe it or not, being that we are in 2020, there are actually police officers whose entire job is to go on social media and look for such stories and look for such hashtags and warnings. So they knew this was coming. So the city of Chicago has no recourse when it comes to not being prepared for the quote unquote riots, the looters. Okay, so kind of sets up the story of what happened. So what happened is last night, sure enough, going into the fancy schmancy areas of northern Chicago, Michigan, in the Michigan Mile shopping area, the North Shore, they went ahead kind of in the Streeterville area and they destroyed a bunch of crap. They went in, they attacked. In fact, I will pull up a photo right now for you to see. So I'm not just talking on my ass. You can see some of the carnage. Well, maybe I'll blow this up a little bit bigger so everyone can see. And again, if you're listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see it, but I will explain it to you, as well as you can always go on here or just go on Twitter or Google or wherever you like to do your internet searches, and you will find plenty of footage to look at. So basically, people are coming in and out of an area where where there was looting going on. Police are trying to apprehend people. Things are destroyed. Storefronts are completely ripped apart, destroyed. Shelving, everything is just in shambles, as you can see. Windows going into stores have been shattered so they could enter in and out. Clothing stores, grocery stores were hit. There was an entire shopping mall, and this is just a little snippet of it. Apparently this was a Best Buy, but the entire shopping center was hit. Everything was torn apart. You'll see debris. And actually, I think there is some footage that will show from, I think, an aerial shot and some video in just a second that'll kind of give you a better idea of the carnage of what occurred. And again, this wasn't a ton of people involved in this looting. But it was a good number of people, and they destroyed a lot, and they stole a lot. And the thing is, okay, so you might ask, well, why are you so upset about this time? Why does it bother you so much? I am sick of it, as anyone should be, because it's been going on for far too long. But it's the reaction of the officials in the city of Chicago, which really pissed me off. The reason for that being is because we have had protests in Chicago for months now. And again, I support protesters. That being said, for as many protesters as there have been out in the streets of Chicago or any major city in the last few months, there's been probably just as many rioters and looters and people there to cause destruction, right? But they've always had an excuse saying, well, these people are out there just protesting and just a small number of looters, and that's just going to be a consequence of having protest. Well, that being said, let's get back to here. I'm going to see oops. Oh, okay. So this was actually a tweet that was put out by Mayor Lori Lightfoot earlier today. So this is on August 10th. This is at 2 p.m. She said there is a false report or false rumor on social media that police officers killed a 15-year-old on Sunday. Here are the facts. Officers responded to a 911 call about an armed man in Inglewood. A 20-year-old suspect fired at officers. Gunfire was exchanged. The suspect is in stable condition. And all that is true. All that is accurate. So there's nothing wrong with what she said there. She's doing her job. She's a public official. She's using her social media to reach out to the people in the city of Chicago. I have no qualms about this. But this isn't the problem I have. You see, this is the proper response. And actually, this probably should have come out on Sunday, but it didn't come out till today, after the riots. Because what happened is last night, people have been threatening, going on social media, saying they were going to go take it to the city. They were going to rip apart. They were going to loot. They were going to burn buildings down. And police officers were aware of it, and they weren't prepared. So when these rioters came, everything, and I mean everything in their path, just got destroyed. Even if they didn't go into places, they broke the windows. They did as much damage as they could in residential areas. They did damage to the flower pots and planters outside of people's homes. Anything and everything they could destroy that they could get their hands on, they did. So again, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for months in the city of Chicago. The problem is that now, for whatever reason, all of a sudden, the mayor of Chicago is upset. She's upset that people have decided to, act out and, I don't know, steal things and break things and destroy things that aren't theirs. And frankly, this is unacceptable. Not the fact that she's taking that stance, but that she's taking that stance now. She's saying, well, these people have no right to be protesting. These people have no right to be, assembling. And obviously they shouldn't be doing this. But this has been happening for months. And people have been hiding behind these protests. Again, there are good protesters, yes. There are people who should be heard, fine. I'm all for that. Peaceably. Obviously, that hasn't been the case in Chicago or any other major city in the United States for the last several months. Why is she so adamant this time? That's a good question. And people actually tried to ask her, and she got very defensive. And we're going to get to that in, just a minute. But what people need to understand, and maybe they do or don't, I don't know. It just depends on their experience with Chicago. I don't know if you follow the news. I don't know if you follow national news or if you just follow local news. Everyone's kind of got their own taste. Some people do a little bit of both. Some people are very much into, I only watch CNN or MSNBC, or I only watch my local, ABC, NBC, CBS affiliates, whatever. But if you know anything about the city of Chicago, this is nothing new. We've had problems in the city of Chicago for years. And there have been people who get attacked all the time. There are people who get carjacked all the time. There's more violence in the city of Chicago, I believe, than anywhere else in the United States, generally speaking. And it hasn't always been that way, but it's always been an issue. And now it's gotten considerably worse now, just in the last couple of years. And that's not just Mayor Lori Lightfoot's fault. I'm not blaming her specifically for saying, oh my goodness, it's all her fault. It's not. But she has not had a proper response. Again, with the other protests, I understand when the protest originally started a couple months ago, no one wanted to just pound on her and say, oh my God, you're a horrible person. What were you thinking? We should not be doing what we're doing. No one did that. Generally speaking, because everyone was trying to, walk on eggshells, because everyone was concerned greatly because of this whole, racial issues that were going on, and the whole George Floyd murder and the general protest everywhere. No one wanted to kind of take charge and take control of their cities anymore, because they didn't want to be that bad looking person and say, oh, this person doesn't care about minorities or what have you. I understand why she didn't jump all over it initially. I got it. The fact that she's doing it now is too little too late. And the fact that she's going at it so adamantly just irks me. Now, I'm going to show you a video here of what I'm talking about. This is going to be a little bit from Reuters. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Reuters? I believe it's Reuters. Actually, it sounds kind of funny when you say it like that. This is going to be a couple minute thing they have. Let me go on here right quick, and I'm going to hit play. And we're going to give it a listen.
Chicagoans boarded up broken windows and swept up shattered glass after hundreds of people looted stores and clashed with police in and around Chicago's luxury commercial district overnight Sunday into Monday. Police said the conflagration was sparked by a police shooting in another neighborhood. More than 100 people were arrested.
This was an assault on our city.
And Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot sought to distance the looting from anti-racism protests over the death of unarmed black man George Floyd.
This is not legitimate First Amendment protected speech. This was straight up felony criminal conduct.
And right there, that's what's pissing me off. Those words. Exactly what she said right then about what happened last night, which occurred from roughly about midnight last night all the way till about 6:30 in the morning, when people are normally heading off to work, happened for months throughout Chicago. And people were saying these exact same things, and she was getting defensive and in people's faces and saying, no, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. This is peaceful protesting, even though there was tons of looting and rioting and violence going on left and right. And this is exactly what's pissing people off, like myself. Where was she 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago, weeks ago, when all this was going on? Now, I'm going to let you finish the video because some interesting things in here.
And to those who engaged in this criminal behavior, let's be clear. We are coming for you.
Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown said at least 13 officers were injured and a security guard and a civilian were struck by gunfire.
This was an act of violence against our police officers and against our city. In one incident last night, officers were arresting a looting suspect at Michigan Avenue and Lake Street. This person was carrying a cash register he had looted out of a store. As officers were making the arrest, another vehicle passed by the officers and fired shots at the officers as their vehicle turned the corner, resulting in an exchange of gunfire between our officers and these suspects.
Brown.
Now, see right there, again, that is ridiculous. That is horrible. But that is nothing new. That's been going on in the city of Chicago for months. Now, it was happening in poor neighborhoods. It was happening on the south side. And then, well, apparently nobody cared. But now the fact that it's happening on the north side, that's happening into the tourist areas in the Michigan Mile, in the shopping area, now it's an issue. Because, all of a sudden, magically, it matters. That's what's pissing people off. But I digress.
Said police became aware of several social media posts encouraging looting downtown after tensions flared in another part of the city following the police shooting of a man with a gun. Police questioned a 20-year-old suspect Sunday afternoon. The man fled and fired at the officer.
Not to interrupt again, but right here, this is the good part of the city of Chicago. See these people right here? See this truck here and all these people walking around picking up crap? These are not employees of the Best Buy store. These are not people who are being paid to do what they're doing. These are people who saw what happened or disgusted by it, and they decided to go and clean up and pick up. This is a good part of the city of Chicago. But let me finish playing the last little bit.
Police returned fire and shot the man, who was hospitalized and expected to survive.
I do not care whatever justification was given for this. There is no justification for criminal behavior ever. You have no right to take and destroy the property of others.
No shit, Sherlock. Now she gets it. Now she understands how this is what it took for her to get, because now the people who matter in her city, the people who are the rich and powerful, the ones who live up on the north side and in the fancy area, and like I said, Streeterville and all those areas, these are the people who are going to be affected. These are the people that are upset. This is the area in which she lives in, and now it's an issue. Now she'll stay the most obvious things like, oh, it's not your right to destroy and take other people's property. Well, it wasn't all right a week ago or a month ago or 3 months ago, but you didn't have a problem with it then, did you? No, you have a problem with it now. And that's what I think so many people, and I know so many people who are upset with her over this. In fact, one of them we're going to talk about, because this is, I don't want to say it's surprising, but it's a little surprising, because we're going to bring up something I never thought I would see. And that is this. Here is Jesse Jackson. Now, if you don't know who Jesse Jackson is, Jesse Jackson is he's an activist. I will use that term loosely. He is a person that's been in and around Chicago pretty much forever. He's known for the Rainbow Push Coalition. He's a reverend, but he's not really a reverend, as far as I understand. But he's been involved in race issues in Chicago and even across the world. I mean, across the country for forever, for as long as I've been alive, and I'm sure even more so than that. So, that being said, what? I don't know why the video started playing. Get that closed. So apparently, Jesse Jackson says Chicago looting is humiliating, embarrassing, and morally wrong. Really? You have Jesse Jackson, one of the biggest race baiters in our history, as in modern civilization, calling out Chicago and saying how this looting and rioting and pillaging and robbing and looting in Chicago is humiliating, embarrassing, and morally wrong. It must not be associated with our quest for social justice and equality. Now, that I absolutely 100% agree with. Here's a situation in which these rioters, these looters, these people who are pillaging, stealing, thieving, whatever you want to call it, destroying, burning, breaking, that should not be associated with social justice and equality and for people for fighting for rights and recognition. I get that, but it is, because it's the people who are supposedly we're fighting for are the ones doing it, right? As well as they're doing it in the name of someone who was attacked by police for police brutality, even though this was not even a situation of police brutality. Why is that so hard to understand? These people who did this last night claim to have done it, or were claiming to do it ahead of time on social media because the police are horrible, terrible, no good, very bad, murderous, horrendous, evil people. And they have to be punished. And we're going to punish the city of Chicago, and we're going to go take it to the north side. And that's what we're going to do. This is the excuse they used. But the problem is, it was under false pretenses. Now, maybe I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, you know what? Maybe there's a slight chance they really didn't know the truth, or they'd heard it from someone else that was wrong. I never went through every tweet or went on every post on Facebook. I don't know if there was anyone spouting any crap saying that this was something that actually happened and it was bad or evil. I don't know. But it didn't take long for the truth to get out. It was all over the news. It was, again, this happened at 2:30 in the afternoon. There was tweets and Facebook posts as early as like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the afternoon saying, we're going to take it to the north side. We're going to take it to the city. And apparently, but there was news again at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock saying that this was a false report and that these things weren't true. But apparently people who decided to be looters and rioters and how do you put it? Pillaging and robbing and looting in Chicago didn't bother to pay attention to the news after they put out their original tweets, and they were hell-bent on doing whatever it was they were going to do. So, yeah, that makes for an interesting thing. The fact that Jesse Jackson himself is actually trying to shame the city of Chicago for their behavior, for their actions, for saying the things that they're saying, doing the things that they're doing. This isn't a new thing. This didn't just start right now, today. This happened for years and decades. It's been happening here hardcore all year. I mean, let's face it, Chicago is a murder capital of the country, maybe even the world. I don't even know. I haven't checked world statistics lately. But we have a tendency of killing lots of people here, and most of them are very much innocent and should not be dying. Well, frankly, no one should be dying. I don't believe in killing, but that's besides the point. And again, I understand people are angry. People are venting. They're trying to take out their frustrations. Make whatever excuses you want. You do not destroy the city in which you live in. Okay, we only got about, we got 6 minutes. Okay, so let's fast forward this a little bit. What is this going to do to the city of Chicago? Should the city of Chicago be embarrassed? Yes. Is this type of behavior going to be rewarded? No, but it may not be punished. But the people who will get punished are the people in the city of Chicago, because let's look at these businesses that were attacked. We had major food chains, grocery stores, jewelry stores, electronic stores, all of these places that were attacked, broken into, vandalized, what have you. Do you really think that these businesses are going to want to stay in the city of Chicago or in these neighborhoods? Some might. But do you think all of them are? Do you think the majority of them would be? Would you be? If you were CEO of a company, a president of a company, or you just owned a single business, and this is the type of thing that happened to your business, would you rebuild? Would you stay there? Would you wait for it to happen again? No, of course not, because your insurance is only going to pay so much money. You got to put your own money back in there. You've lost a lot of crap. And apparently the city of Chicago has never cared about it. They never arrested when it happened a month ago or 2 months or 3 months ago. Even when people were caught red-handed, they were released. And they said, we're not pressing charges. We'll do a whole show actually on the I don't know technically if she's a state's attorney, but she is the DA. I don't know if it's Cook County or if it's the state, but Kim Foxx, she's interesting to say the least, and she has not helped the cause for the city of Chicago. But yeah, last time she had pretty much come across that she was not going to be pressing charges on pretty much anybody who's doing the rooting. Doing the rioting and the looting. I made up a new word, rooting. Yeah, so it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But think about it. Say you're a major chain. Would you go and rebuild inside these areas? I sure as hell wouldn't. I wouldn't invest any more money in these places. And in fact, that's going to become more and more commonplace. Not even just Chicago. It's going to happen in New York and Dallas and LA and all these major markets. Why have a physical store if it's just going to get destroyed and looted and burned and have your things destroyed and stolen? You're not going to do it. This is nothing new in a concept, but it's become so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's become so encompassing lately all over our country that people are just going to stop rebuilding and they're going to stop having stores in major areas like Chicago. What are you going to do when all your stores are shut down? I mean, what are you going to do when you can't have a place for people to come shop at or come have restaurants at? People aren't going to come out to, I mean, not like they're even barely doing it now because of the whole COVID thing, but say once that's done, say later this year, next year, late next year, maybe we're all finally past the epidemic level of COVID-19 and we've got it semi under control and we can kind of go back to our normal everyday lives. Would you want to go down to this issue? Would you want to live in Chicago? No. Would you want to go even visit it? No. I would have no business in Chicago. I wouldn't do anything in the city of Chicago unless I absolutely had to. And I used to love Chicago. I used to go there when I was younger. I used to go there just to hang out and go out to restaurants and eat and go on the Riverwalk. And there was a lot of fun things to do in Chicago. Go to the beach during the day, but not anymore. Hell no. And I know that's the mentality of a majority of the people who are, say, in their late teens, early 20s, late 20s now. I have a bunch of friends who live out in the suburbs or not quite in the suburbs, but sort of in the suburbs, close to the city, who are now looking to put their house up for sale and get the hell out of there. And they should be. I mean, let's face it. Chicago is literally killing itself. And not even slowly. They're doing it quickly. They're doing what no recession has been able to do, what no world war has been able to do. They are literally destroying themselves. And it's they themselves who are doing it. This isn't a hard concept, people. If you want to save your city, and not even just Chicago, if you want to save any city, any major city in the country, even in the world right now, fight for it. Don't let people come and destroy it. Stand up against them. When you see someone threatening to do something, call them out for it. You know, I understand people are angry. I get it. That part I totally get. I understand the frustration. I couldn't even imagine what some of these people have been living with and the things they've been wrestling with. I get that part of it. I sympathize with that, but this is not the answer. And you are destroying your own home to make a point. And soon you're not going to have a home because there's going to be no money to fund it. Everyone's going to move out. No businesses are going to rebuild. There's going to be no jobs there. Then what are you going to do? Is everyone just going to be on welfare? How's that going to happen? Who's going to pay for it? Nobody. Not going to happen. Sorry, just is not going to happen. And this is the direction we're heading very quickly. This is like, not like, oh, well, we're kind of taking a baby step. No, we're not on baby steps. We're like, do you ever like see the snowball and you put it on top of a hill, right? And you get it nice and compact and maybe make it size like a softball. And you start on top and you push and you let it roll and it just kind of comes down the hill and just gets bigger and bigger and collecting more and more snow as it goes down. By the time it hits the bottom, it's like 3 feet wide. That's pretty much what we're doing times 1,000. We are literally destroying Chicago and pretty much every other major city. But this is just a perfect example of what is wrong with our country, what is wrong with our society right now, what is wrong with our culture. And it can easily be fixed, but we have to want to fix it, right? So, and the best way to do that first is to stop doing it. I don't know if we can do that at this point. Maybe we can. Maybe who knows? Maybe Lori Lightfoot and the new police superintendent, Brown, I believe his name is, maybe they can do something. Maybe they can fix it. I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise me. I'm not holding my breath because I know better, but you never know. Anything's possible until it's not, right? Well, believe it or not, we're actually already done with the show. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I want to remind everyone we are on 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you're not able to join us live, you can always watch on replay. We are available everywhere. You go anywhere, you're going to find us. Just put in the Kevin Lee Show. You'll find us. Put in the Daily Dirty 30 with the number 30. You'll find us. And if not, just go to my website, thekevinleeshow.com, and we're there. We're there. All the recordings of the shows, audio, video, links to everything, anything and everything you would want is right there. So I hope you have enjoyed the rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. But yeah, until then, have a good one. All right. See ya.